Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hard Knocks Fighting TV. I'm Ryan Ballantyne. He's Ari Tobe, the president and CEO of the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship. And coming up over the next hour, we've got some of the best MMA action you're going to see anywhere. Next up, a fight between Cody Isaacson and Brendon Frost. And Ari, when you look at the records of these two fighters, you see a guy that's coming in 2-5. But Cody Isaacson assures me that Brendon Frost is a much tougher out than his record would indicate.
Yeah, I think he took some fights that he probably shouldn't have taken when he was a beginning fighter, and he's gotten a lot better, and this is going to be a really good fight.
Now, on the other side, you've got a guy coming out of Team Quest, full-time fighter. Cody Isaacson doesn't do anything but train and teach kids how to train, looking for a solid performance from him.
I really like Cody Isaacson. He's a great kid, and his skills are developing, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in his career.
So coming up, it's Cody Isaacson taking on Brendon Frost.
This School of Hard Knocks fight is a professional bout in the 155-pound division and is brought to you by Driving Force. And now, let's meet our fighters.
And coming down to the cage first out of Team Quest in Oregon is Cody Isaacson.
And Cody Isaacson won his very first pro fight by TKO in the first round. A very excellent fighter, very entertaining fighter, very entertaining guy, Ryan.
Yeah, Cody Isaacson really kind of gets it. He knows what the sport's about, a full-time fighter. And when he, and you say, well, how does a guy make money as a full-time fighter when he's only 1-0? Well, it's because he also trains and teaches at the Team Quest Gym in Oregon. And he runs a lot of the amateur programs there and teaches the kids how to get in and how to learn how to fight, and as a very successful instructor there.
And a little bit of a show off here from Cody Isaacson for the camera. And again, I asked him the very specifically, how does training make you a better fighter? And he said, it makes me a better fighter because I'm able to show the techniques that and make sure that they're imperfect before I do anything.
And we'll meet his opponent right now.
And his opponent,
coming down to the cage now, Brendon Frost, coming to us out of FKP MMA in Vancouver, British Columbia. It's interesting, Jeremy, too, when you talk about Brendon Frost, took his first pro fight before ever training in any mixed martial arts discipline at all. Had a buddy who said, hey, there's a card coming to town and they're looking for fighters. Signed up, and the promoter not doing their homework there.
As we look at the tail of the tape, 28 for Cody Isaacson, a significant height advantage, 6 inches of advantage. Again, Isaacson coming in overweight for the 155 weight class, but again, the record, 7 fights for Brendon Frost and 1 fight for Cody Isaacson.
Now, we do want to mention, of course, that Cody Isaacson did have an opportunity to cut weight. He did get down 1.5 pounds from his initial weigh-in weight, and so as a result, they accept the catch weight fight at 160 pounds. Now, for our official introductions, we'll head inside the cage to Jaden Nance.
and now the official Hard Knocks fighter introductions. In the blue corner for Ryerson Contracting, he's 1-0 as a professional, 28 years old, and stands 6 feet, 1 inches tall. He weighed in at 158 pounds, fighting out of Team Quest from Portland, Oregon. Please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Cody Monster Isaacson. And in the red corner for DW Compression, he's 2-5 as a professional, 26 years old, and stands 5 feet, 7 inches tall. He weighed in at 155 pounds, fighting out of FKP MMA from Fort St. John. Please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Brendon the Thrill Frost. This bout will be contested under professional rules. The referee in charge of the Hard Knocks action is Mr. Kyle Cardinal.
Kyle Cardinal, our referee, as these two fighters get ready to start our first pro fight of the night. And apologies to Brendon Frost from right here in Fort St. John, British Columbia, not out of Vancouver. There is an FKP gym here, so out of Fort St. John. And a big head kick immediately thrown and caught from Isaacson, and Frost right on top of him.
Yeah, you guess Cody Isaacson coming out with that big technique, and Frost was able to catch it and take him down, and now goes to work on top. These are 5-minute rounds, and you will see the striking to the head. So you see Brendon Frost trying to pass, get into that mount position.
Started in the full guard of Isaacson, in the half guard now, trying to pass and get to the side, and does so now. But Isaacson able to spring his way up and land a takedown of his own.
Excellent work by Cody Isaacson, working to try and get out of the position that was put there by not really connecting with the head kick. And a good work here, and now landing strikes from the top on his own. He's got a lot of time to work.
So both fighters with some time on top, just 1 minute in, and Isaacson dropping the right hand there and trying to find a home for it. On the other side, it's Brendon Frost now trying to work his way out. Isaacson now trying to take him back down to the ground.
You have to use the cage to be able to get yourself up, unless you're going to be working the legs and trying to push away the hips. And that is what Brendon Frost is doing. And now's a nice up kick, using the legs to try and push Isaacson away. Good tenacity by Isaacson coming forward.
Comes back in, winds up again in a half guard. Landing shots to the body, not much damage, just to let him know he's there. Trying to scramble back now, Jeremy, into the guard, but Isaacson doing a good job of keeping that one leg out separated so that can't happen. Now posturing up and landing a nice couple punches from the top.
Well, and holding on to the head is Brendon Frost, but that leaves his face exposed, and you see what's happened now is Isaacson is holding on, and now Brendon Frost uses the hand to block, but Isaacson with the back now trying to go to work getting that rear naked choke.
And it might be even a reverse triangle here, Jeremy.
Switching to an armbar. Lots of pressure here from Isaacson.
And lots of time, too, trying to land punches. He's got him in that triangle position, but not yet able to put the pressure on. And you can see him squeezing now, trying to get his opponent to tap. Cody Isaacson on top. Brendon Frost in some trouble here, Jeremy, and he's busted open.
Yeah, big shot there from Cody Isaacson. Busted open Brendon Frost. He's dripping very heavily from a nasty cut above his eye, but now comes through and is on a top position. But that cut is in a dangerous position, and that's one of those ones that the doctor can look at. And it's an unfortunate thing, especially if Brendon Frost is able to keep pushing forward and keep being able to be competitive in this fight if he loses to a cut. But our cut man, Mike Short, who's outside, has just collected a lot of gear to try and work on that cut during the break.
So Brendon Frost continuing on top here after escaping an inverted triangle attempt from Cody Isaacson.
Now he's in a decent position. He's trying to bait the arm triangle and was unable to keep the position. Had the head underneath the arm of Cody Isaacson, but Cody Isaacson a little too experienced to fall for that, what could be an old man trick. And oh, that was a big shot from Brendon Frost.
Yeah, big right hand. He loaded to go to it again, and that time Isaacson slipped it and got away and is now on top. An arm-in guillotine attempt here from Frost. He's pulling back, but it doesn't look like it's deeper than I first thought, Jeremy, but with the arm in, that pressure not all that great on the neck.
It is under the chin, but Isaacson doing an excellent job attacking the grip, working the position first. Too often in that guillotine position, we see younger fighters will try and strike from that position, not feeling the danger. Isaacson immediately recognized the danger, attacked the grip, and was able to secure himself a good top position now.
Isaacson on top in favor, working here in round number 1 of a scheduled 3 as Isaacson postures up but is unable to connect and does so again, trying to drop the elbow there on the forehead of Brendon Frost, who was cut badly, Jeremy, about 2 minutes into this fight. And so far it hasn't really seemed to affect him all that much.
No, but you do notice that he is turning the cut away from the right hand of Cody Isaacson. He's not allowing him to target that cut with the right hand. You see Isaacson trying to trap that hand down. He has done so now, but Brendon Frost able to get that hand out.
So more punches to the ribs from Isaacson with just 5 seconds remaining in round number 1. Isaacson will end it on top. And a very entertaining round between these two pro fighters.
And you look at the cut on the eye of Brendon Frost, and that one is nasty. And you'll see the corners coming in, and they're going to work on that one. And that cut needs to really be taken care of. You're going to see some highlights here. Here's the caught kick, and Brendon Frost trying to work. Perhaps could have worked a submission off of that, was able to catch it, get inside the guard. Isaacson didn't stay there for long, Ryan, though he was able to get up right away and then get to work.
And the doctor now in looking at the eye of Brendon Frost. Doesn't appear to be a stoppage issue at this point. And Brendon's coaches bringing their own in. Under the rules here in BC, Jeremy, only 2 coaches allowed into the cage. And if you require a cut man, you actually have to leave one of your coaches outside to allow that cut man to come in. So Mike Short, the neutral cut man here for both corners, but the team from FKP MMA getting it done on their own. And looks a lot better than he did a moment ago, does Brendon Frost.
Well, they did an excellent job of closing up that cut, but you know that Cody Isaacson knows that it's there, so he's going to be targeting that location.
And some big punches being thrown there, and we've seen a couple big punches and fights from Fort St. John fighters tonight.
Cody Isaacson pushing up against the cage, trying to make Brendon Frost carry the weight. A nice knee landed. Brendon Frost with the over-under position. Now to double unders. With the double unders and a big swing, and that one connected. Cody Isaacson is stunned, but immediately gets back and starts throwing himself.
And through the big knee to the midsection, bouncing back and trying to maybe use that reach. But here comes Brendon Frost, another nice combination there to take Isaacson to the ground, and he's got to get working, Jeremy.
Well, and Isaacson got hit with a big shot, and instead of shying away and staying on his feet where he could take more punishment, he abandoned to a position where he could try and control it, get his bells back, not ringing quite as bad as they are right now, and get back to being able to use his abilities to come in this fight. But this is Brendon Frost with just under 4 minutes to go, and at this point, if he's able to stay on top for this position, he's going to be able to land some big damage to Cody Isaacson.
And a nice roll through there from Isaacson, just as you said that, Jeremy. Sweeps him and gets him into a guard position. And now on top is Cody Isaacson. And like you said, maybe now recovering from that big punch and getting himself into a position where he can start to recover a bit, as well as make the judges forget that he was rocked early in this round.
There's one thing that I've seen Cody Isaacson do twice, and it looks like he's giving up his back, and the second he feels his opponent shift his weight to take the back, he immediately brings the opponent down underneath his guard. So an excellent technique there, and an interesting switch, one that I haven't seen been used, that's being used by Cody Isaacson.
Now Brendon Frost tried to get over top but was unable to do so, and as a result has eaten several lefts from Cody Isaacson in this position. Again, trying to push off the fence, and the same result. Isaacson holds him down, feeds him a couple lefts, and you can see that leg up against the fence again, as it's going to look like Brendon Frost tried to get out there. Frost now grabbing around the neck of Isaacson, trying to hold him down, looking for that guillotine. Obviously, Isaacson not all that threatened by it, as he hasn't started to attach the grip yet, but now it looks like he might start defending.
And some punches being landed to the midsection here. You look here, Cody Isaacson is putting his head against Brendon Frost's head. And the reason he's doing it, now an arm triangle off to the side. It's very tight. He's able to get through. Lots of sweat from both of these fighters. And now a top position trying to be taken here from Cody Isaacson. And Brendon Frost able to get to his feet and land some big punches.
Isaacson covering up, trying to kick out. Brendon Frost is swarming, and Isaacson, very good job to get him inside the guard and again limit the opportunity of Frost to end this fight.
we look at both of these fighters and you watch where they're positioning their head. They're positioning their head just underneath the head of their opponent. And the reason that they do that is for location. It's hard to see where your opponent's head is at all times.
Oh, and an armbar here.
Oh, that is tight.
And that is it. Cody Isaacson, your winner by armbar as Brendon Frost gets caught. What a fight between these two pros.
And that was a vicious armbar. A lot of power put into that one, and he took a lot of punishment to be able to secure that armbar, and an excellent job here by Cody Isaacson, who now has a cut on his own eye.
And now, the official decision brought to you by Driving Force. The winner by armbar at 3 minutes and 33 seconds of the second round. In the blue corner, Cody Monster Isaacson.
Cody Isaacson, your winner. He's going to be with Ryan after a very entertaining fight.
Looks like Cody just needs a second to recover here. A pretty tough fight, ladies and gentlemen, and now I'm joined by your winner, Cody Isaacson. Cody, a heck of a fight. Both of you guys going at it hard tonight.
He's tough. He's really tough. I'm tired, sir.
Well, you come out with the armbar win. It seemed like a couple times you were shifting to get your back, and you used that momentum to end up on top. A move we haven't seen very much here in the Hard Knocks cage.
I can grapple, I can scramble. I'm from TQ. I can scramble.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you got coaches and sponsors to thank back home.
Thanks everybody that calls me coach and everybody that comes to my class.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for your winner, Cody Isaacson. So a great fight there already as Cody Isaacson gets the win. A tough fight for both these guys. No shame in losing this one either.
No, that was a really tough fight, and Cody Isaacson is a really, really good fighter from Team Quest. I can't wait to see what happens as his career progresses. It's a great armbar finish.
And Brendon Frost, for his record, you think, well, 2-5 now, 2-6. This guy's no slouch as a fighter either.
That's exactly what Cody said, and there's no question he is not a 2-5 fighter. He's a good fighter.
So Cody Isaacson, your winner tonight via armbar over Brendon Frost.
To find out more about Hard Knocks Fighting and upcoming Hard Knocks events, please visit hardknocksfighting.com.
Next up, a fight between two very experienced veterans of the cage. We've got Ariel Gandulla taking on former UFC fighter Rodney Wallace. Ariel fought for the WEC title at one time in his weight class, and Rodney Wallace made it to the highest level that you can get to in this sport. Both of these guys with tons of cage experience, they're ready to go.
Wow, what an amazing fight we have. This is going to be fantastic. Gandulla, world-class judo player. I love judo skills. You know, Ronda Rousey comes in, she dominates people with judo skills. There's not very many top fighters that have judo skills, and it really messes with the regular MMA fighters. So we're going to see how Rodney Wallace deals with this. Now, he's got a wrestling background, and so I think he'll be able to deal with it okay. I think Gandulla's judo is going to be nullified, and my bet is it's a stand-up war.
Here we go. It's Ariel Gandulla versus Rodney Wallace.
This School of Hard Knocks fight is our main event of the evening and is a professional bout in the 205-pound division and is brought to you by Karen Simpson, financial planner, and Edith Lowen, mortgage specialists at RBC. And now, let's meet our fighters.
Now it's time for the main event of the evening, and the first guy coming down to the cage, former UFC fighter Rodney Wallace.
Well, and Rodney Wallace is a top-level fighter, a guy who fought for the Eastern United States team in the M1 Challenge. He also fought a tournament, Ryan, where he had 3 fights in one day and ended up winning that tournament. 3 MMA fights in one day, something that has gone by the wayside from the UFC 1 days, and this is a guy who has won one of those tournaments, so an excellent fighter.
So Rodney Wallace gets the final look from the officials. Again, a light heavyweight division. And said when people talk about him as a fighter, the thing that they point out the most is the heart that he has. There's no quit in Rodney Wallace, and we'll see that here in the main event tonight. And now we will get set to meet his opponent right now.
And his opponent,
coming down to the cage now, the opponent for Rodney Wallace tonight, Ariel Gandulla.
Ariel Gandulla fought WEC, a title fight in the WEC. So these guys were at the top of their game, and we have them here in the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship all the way up at Fort St. John, British Columbia. We want to bring you the top level MMA that we can, and we're showing it here with these 2 guys.
Gandulla, also a former Pan Am champion in judo, has been fighting since 2005 and says that the thing he loves most, Jeremy, is going into the gym and fighting guys that aren't metaphorically half his age, but they are literally half his age, and yet he can keep up with them, he can keep going, and he can keep pace with those young guys. And when you look at him, you certainly don't see a 46-year-old fighter.
Well, he's been fighting since 2005. He started training when he was 7 years old, lived in Cuba, and he was a wrestler, obviously, as everybody in Cuba is, and went, like you said, to the Pan Am Games in judo, and then came over to the United States via a raft with 9 other guys, spent 11 months in Guantanamo Bay waiting to be able to come into the United States. As we look at the tail of the tape of these 2 fighters, 5'11" for Gandulla, 5'9" for Rodney Wallace. The weight's very much the same. Extensive records for both of them, but the big thing that you see there, Ryan, 46 years old for Gandulla, only 32 for Rodney Wallace.
So Ariel Gandulla will make his way into the cage, and we will get set for our official introductions. We'll head inside the cage to Jay Denance.
and now the official Hard Knocks Fighter introductions. In the blue corner for Ryerson Contracting, he's 20-8 as a professional, 32 years old, and stands 5 feet, 9 inches tall. He weighed in at 205 pounds, fighting out of Team Rock from Charlotte, North Carolina. Please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Rodney Wallace. And in the red corner for DW Compression, he's 17-8 as a professional, 46 years old, and stands 5 feet, 11 inches tall. He weighed in at 204 pounds, fighting out of FKP MMA from Vancouver. Please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Ariel, the Black Panther Gandulla. This bout will be contested under professional rules. The referee in charge of the Hard Knocks action is Mr. John Cooper.
John Cooper, our referee for the main event. He'll give his final instructions right now.
You know the rules. I need you to protect yourself at all times. Most importantly, obey my commands at all times. If you want to touch gloves, do it now.
So it's Rodney Wallace versus Ariel Gandulla, as these two guys will come out to the center of the cage and meet in our main event of the evening. Black trunks out of the blue corner for Wallace. Gandulla in the red trunks coming out of the red corner. And the cage doors are closed. The official is ready, and we are underway for our main event of the evening.
Both these fighters fighting in the upper echelon of MMA, so you're going to see some very clinical striking. Both guys have wrestling backgrounds as well, so very well-rounded three-phase fighters for you here in our main event.
Nice inside leg kick from Wallace. Again, the patience that we're going to see from these guys due to their experience, you're going to find them waiting to find their mark, measuring their distance without throwing punches, Jeremy, and knowing exactly where they need to be to land those strikes.
And you look at some of the footwork here, a nice combination landed by Wallace and a nice shot in return from Ariel Gandulla.
Bit of a pawing jab there from Wallace, a responding one from Gandulla. And again, Jeremy, patience, the word of the day here. And trying to throw that overhand right over top of the leg kick when Wallace came in.
Another step in. Again, you look at the clinical striking, and it's all about footwork first for these guys. And before they even throw a punch, they have done amazing footwork.
Wallace and Gandulla still at center. A nice combination there with a jab and an inside leg kick.
The big looping punch coming from Ariel Gandulla.
Again, just watching these two guys, you can see their eyes never leave each other's eyes. It's a different kind of level of fighting than we've seen so far on the card tonight.
There's a nice combination, a jab, inside leg kick by Rodney Wallace.
When you talk to Rodney Wallace, Jeremy, one of the more interesting guys showed up to the hotel, and due to a mix-up, he and his coach ended up in a room with just one bed. Didn't complain the entire way. Just figured he would handle it and deal with it, and again, didn't want to kind of make waves. Was just coming up to fight, and however that needs to happen, it needs to happen. We did find him a room with two beds.
I was having dinner with
no hesitation.
I was having dinner with his coach, and he just said, "Yeah, we're just sharing a bed." I'm like, "Well, that's not right." And so we were able to get them another room. Gotta love mix-ups. Just over 2 minutes remaining here, and again, the striking, both these guys trying to find a way to get inside, and there's going to be a feeling out process earlier on, as both these guys will not commit and don't want to give up a bad position early on, but again, once they find their pace, they'll be able to get inside, and we'll be able to see the action they can put forward.
And again, a 3-round, 5-minute fight scheduled for the main event here. And like with most fights at the highest levels, Jeremy, you start to see that measuring process in the first round. It's very rarely that the guys try to end the fight in round one. They find their spot and they go for it. And Gandulla now reacting to the head kick, throwing some punches, but Wallace recovers nicely.
Well, and there was a brief exchange there where Wallace's inside leg kick came up a little bit high, and all Gandulla did was readjust his cup, and they touched hands and said sorry about that, and they went back to work. The second kick Wallace had went a little bit higher, though, and did connect, but it wasn't anything damaging. Gandulla, like you said, Ryan, he jumped all over it.
Yeah, kind of driving through the kick when he saw it coming high, and it's funny, when these guys do actually throw, Jeremy, it seems like punches and bunches, and then it's finding the opportunity, waiting, looking for the chance to get in. And again, when that inside leg kick comes, it's almost always being answered with an overhand right from Ariel Gandulla.
Well, and those overhand rights started by they were missing by about 6 inches, and now those are finding their mark, and Rodney Wallace is having to adjust his game by keeping that hand up high to defend that overhand right, because if that hand is down, Wallace might be out for the count.
And that time Wallace throws the kick and gets away quickly. Gandulla answers with a leg kick of his own. And another one there, that one checked.
Tough first round to call here with both of these fighters. Again, just trying to find their range. There was some very clinical striking, including the big head kick by Rodney Wallace. It didn't do much damage to Ariel Gandulla, but again, trying to find that range. As we look at a replay here, that's that first overhand right that missed by 6 inches. Later on, these overhand rights were coming in. There's the big head kick. Nice catch by Gandulla. And again, this little flurry here, and as soon as they got to a point where they didn't have the advantage, they went back, was able to find some time to work inside.
Yeah, again, the patience of these two fighters, very evident here as they're just looking for the right spot to pick their spot and get the advantage, take the advantage and take the round. Again, a very tough round to call here between Gandulla and Rodney Wallace. So the coaches will leave the cage after the 60-second break, and we will get back underway as Rodney Wallace and Ariel Gandulla continue our main event of the evening. So Gandulla backing up at this point, looking for the counterpunch. Wallace moving forward.
Nice jab there. And again, he's timing that kick. Every time that kick comes in, he's now switching to a cross as opposed to the overhand right. So trying to change the technique to give a little bit of a different look for Rodney Wallace to have to deal with.
And again, it's that long-term game plan that you'll see with really experienced fighters is they come in with that long-term game plan. I'm going to throw the overhand right if there's an inside leg kick, then I'm going to switch it to the left, then maybe back to the right, as opposed to the some of what you hear in other amateur fighters, which is, I don't know anything about the guy and I don't care because I have my own game plan and that's all I'm going to do.
Nice combination, and that leg kick stung. Ariel had to take an extra couple steps just to recover from that one.
Again, another nice overhand right, answered with a knee to the midsection. Another knee to the midsection. Trying some quick punches to the midsection is Gandulla, answering knees with punches, and now they're up against the cage.
Pressuring forward is Rodney Wallace. Fought all over the world with M1, competing for the Eastern United States team.
And again, another more Muay Thai action up here. Knees and punches to the body from both fighters as they continue to move on.
And if you look at the position on when those punches are coming in from Gandulla, he is aiming for the liver, trying to end the fight with one punch. But you look now very patient and trying to stop those punches as well. As good positioning up against the cage. You look, he's going to try and work for a takedown. Has the hands around the legs. Being very patient here, switching to a single. There's the single and a nice takedown there from Rodney Wallace.
Wallace now on top, looking to get into the mount, trying to pass, but is unable to do so. In a half guard here on Ariel Gandulla.
Gandulla with that butterfly guard in, so looking perhaps for a switch. Unfortunately, the wrong side for the butterfly, because if he tries to push up with that leg, it's going to go into the cage and it won't be able to switch that way. But you see some punches landing both from the top and from the bottom. So Ariel Gandulla, although he was taken down, is trying to remain busy at the top, or from the bottom rather.
Now into the full guard, Gandulla. Wallace trying to find his spots. Couple hammer fists there. And again, working in tight, landing damaging blows here, Jeremy. Rodney Wallace is working from the top and trying to continue to show the judges that he's going to win the round. After a very tight round one, this could be very important to the outcome of the fight.
Well, especially since you don't know, neither fighter knows who won round one. It could go either way, but this fight is so far in this round, Rodney Wallace is starting to really exert his dominance on top. Now you saw a couple little attempts by Ariel Gandulla to slide those knees up to perhaps work a submission. But again, both these guys, excellent three-phase fighters. They're good at grappling, striking, and the jiu-jitsu, the submission wrestling. So it'll be very difficult for one to catch the other because they're so experienced.
Wallace continuing to work from the top position. And again, has had his opponent with hammer fists and other punches to the face. But Gandulla doing a good job of defending and limiting the damage so far.
Continued pressure down here for Rodney Wallace. Less than a minute to go in round 2 of 3. This is our main event, Hard Knocks 36.
And again, more punches coming from Rodney Wallace. His corner telling him to pick his spots. On the other side, Ariel Gandulla's coach is imploring him to sweep and try and get out and end the round on top and at least put some question into the judge's mind as to who this round belongs to.
20 seconds remaining, and again, continued pressure being put forth by Rodney Wallace, landing strikes, nothing of really significant damage yet, but those significant strikes are really going to leave a mind in the eyes of the judges with a first round that could have gone either way.
Wallace still on top of Gandulla, where he's been for the better part of 3 minutes, was landing punches the entire time, and now has a minute to recover before round number 3. Little blood coming from the lip of Rodney Wallace. Gandulla doesn't seem to be any worse for wear for spending the time on the bottom.
We look at some of the action, and that was that big leg kick there that really hurt Gandulla. And there it is again. It buckled his knee. He had to step back, take a couple of seconds. Here's a close look at that takedown as it comes through. A nice overhead look again by our jib operator. Thank you very much, Mr. Tobe, for giving us this camera as we saw a great look at that double leg.
Wallace getting tended to by his coaches. And Gandulla also with his coaches. Of course, Wallace coming to us out of Shoot Box in Charlotte, North Carolina. FKP MMA in Vancouver for Ariel Gandulla. So the coaches are out. Third and final round upcoming here in our main event of the evening. It's Rodney Wallace out of the blue corner in the black trunks, the red trunks out of the red corner for Ariel Gandulla. Up and ready, the fighters touch gloves like they didn't do at the beginning of the fight, Jeremy, but by the third round now, earned each other's respect and are ready to go.
Nice quick jab there by Rodney Wallace.
Again, Wallace 14 years Gandulla's junior, but hasn't certainly looked like Gandulla has slowed it all from the first round to now. Wallace doing a little more dancing though, a little more active footwork, trying to find a home for those legs.
Well, the thing with the footwork being active is he's waiting for Gandulla to react to something he's doing, and then if the balance is there, he's able to capitalize off of it. He is landing those inside leg kicks, and they are doing damage because Gandulla is starting to check them and be aware of every time those hips switch, he is watching those legs.
Also a little bit, Jeremy, of is it a little bit of a psychological game as well to show I'm fresh, I'm ready, and I've got what it takes to go another 5 minutes. Look at, and he's really showing that by the active footwork.
There's a miss on the overhand right, a good counter by Gandulla. There's another shot by Gandulla. He's catching him with that left.
And Wallace now threatening in and moving forward. And both these guys now seeming to enjoy the fight, Jeremy.
Well, then why not? They're in front of a great crowd here in Fort St. John.
So Gandulla now pacing. Wallace circling, a nice combination. Again, he comes in with that left hand and then the inside leg kick, and he's done it on several occasions now. Seems to be what he's coming in with, the jab leg kick combination. And again, trying for the jab leg kick. And on the other side, Gandulla coming over. Wallace ducking under, doing some more dancing and going forward.
He's trying to get inside to land some of these big shots. I believe that this combo, eventually Gandulla is going to figure it out, and Wallace is going to change up the combo and change the footwork a little bit so that it ends up being, instead of a jab kick, it's going to be a jab cross or a jab hook, and that is what the setup, and you talk about that mental game that these higher end fighters play, trying to get inside.
Now you can see the fans circling, or rather Wallace circling, trying to find a home, and again the leg kick comes in. A very technical fight, Jeremy, between these two main eventers.
Well, in a night where we've seen 3 highlight reel knockouts, and some of these fighters were expecting the fireworks to fly, but again, a very technical fight, and you see a lot of the chess match going on.
Gandulla trying to come forward, needing to win this third round, in my opinion, Jeremy, to have a chance to win the fight, because of course the second round clearly in favor of Rodney Wallace, and the first round a coin flip. So the third round here, very important for Ariel Gandulla if he wants to come away with the victory.
Well, I think both fighters really need to secure this, because again, that, like you said, Ryan, the first round is a coin flip. Nobody knows who's going to win. And a lot of boxing, a lot of dancing here by Rodney Wallace. There's a good inside leg kick that was checked, but it did find home just above the knee of Gandulla.
Minute 15 to go here in the third and final round of this main event fight between Ariel Gandulla and Rodney Wallace. Wallace trying the jab, Gandulla shifts it, shakes it. And again, now it's Wallace coming forward, sending Gandulla back.
Again, landing that inside leg kick.
And now with 45 seconds to go, Wallace, I'm thinking Jeremy feels pretty comfortable in his position in this fight, because he hasn't engaged as much as he was doing earlier in the round, and looks at this point with 30 seconds left. He knows that Gandulla's got to come forward and might be looking for that counter punch.
Gandulla has thrown some big punches here in this round. They haven't connected. There's a nice quick jab countering the forward motion from Gandulla.
And again, Gandulla trying to land punches. His coach is letting him know there's only 10 seconds to go, and these two fighters will likely go to the judges' scorecards in a close technical fight, Jeremy, that sees a last-second takedown attempt. But Rodney Wallace and Ariel Gandulla go the distance here tonight.
And an excellent fight from both of these guys, technical in all aspects of the game. Very good. We saw the takedown attempt, a very quick defense by Rodney Wallace. And again, it's going to be tough to see who's going to come out on top of this one, because round 1, very much a crapshoot. Round 2, definitely going to Rodney Wallace. Round 3 could go either way. Perhaps Wallace the busier fighter as we look at some of the replay of the action. Here's some big swings early on in the round by Gandulla. And then the movement and that inside leg kick, again, using that leg kick to really secure himself some good strikes in the minds of the judges. And here's another view of that leg kick after the big swing. Right there, nice setup on the leg kick, having to defend the punches and securing that inside leg kick.
And now, the official decision brought to you by Karen Simpson, Financial Planner, and Edith Lowen, Mortgage Specialist at RBC. The winner by unanimous decision in the blue corner, Rodney Wallace.
So Rodney Wallace, your winner by unanimous decision, and he's going to be in the center of the cage with Ryan.
Rodney will get your center of the cage. A very technical fight, saw a little bit of back and forth action. Looks like the second round might have done it for you tonight.
Are y'all not entertained? Hey, I go in here, I go hard, man. These ain't amateurs I'm fighting against. Y'all want to clap when I get my head knocked off. You better clap when I get my hand raised. Let's get it. I appreciate y'all for having me out. I love it here in Canada. Y'all the nicest people in the world. America ain't got nothing on y'all kindness.
Now, I'm sure back home, you got training partners, coaches, and sponsors to thank.
Team Rock Charlotte, baby, all day, every day. Fight Legion, K-Side, let's get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for your main event winner, Rodney Wallace.
Rodney Wallace, your winner tonight, Ari, in a back and forth fight. It really seemed like that groundwork in the second round was the difference.
Well, Rodney for sure won the second round with the takedown and controlling the fight. And then in the third round, he simply outpointed him. He did a better job of playing the game, and he won a close decision.
So Rodney Wallace, your main event winner tonight over Ariel Gandulla. Well, that's it for this episode of Hard Knocks Fighting TV. Make sure you check us out online, hardknocksfighting.com, at HK Fighting on Twitter, or like us on Facebook at Hard Knocks Fighting. For everyone here at the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship, including Ari Tove and myself, we want to thank you all for watching. We'll see you again soon.